Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be looking at the Schecter Tao 7 and why it might be probably the best guitar I've ever owned. So stay tuned. Hey guys, so I got this guitar off of Reverb, good deal. But to do so, I had to sell a guitar that kind of had a sentimental value to me, but ultimately just ended up being kind of a symbol of a toxic relationship that has currently fallen by the wayside. And it was my Gibson Les Paul Studio that had the Seymour Duncans, and I'd used on a bunch of demos of pickups and stuff. And to be honest, it just wasn't worth having around anymore, and I really just didn't want to keep it just for the potential sentimental value of it. But also, I just wasn't picking it up that often. It just wasn't inspiring. Every time I picked it up, it just felt okay. Like I had been playing guitars that were cheaper and more inspiring to me on the daily. Not to mention, I have some strong opinions about Gibson as a company and why I don't really have a strong affinity towards that brand. But either way, I was able to get this guitar, and to be honest, unless you're going to, roll the dice and go big on like a custom build or some sort of custom shop instrument, I think this is like the best bang for your buck that you can get for a production guitar that is mass produced that you can, just easily find off of zZounds or Sweetwater or any of those other retailers. So let's go over some of the specs. First up, we have this awesome satin trans purple finish with this maple veneer, flamed maple veneer. Really cool color. In some lights, it looks almost like purpley pink, but really it's more of a cool purple. Like I think that's the best representation of what it looks like right there. Once you get into like warmer lighting, it starts to look more pink, but I think it's a cool finish. You flip it around, and you have the swamp ash body, two-piece swamp ash body with the raw satin finish. Really cool aesthetic, really modern kind of thing going on here. And then if we look at the neck, what we have is a 5-piece Wenge and Paduk, or paddock, I don't know how to say that, but hard to see in this light, but there is like these faint lighter strips of wood that make up the ply here. One of the other things about this guitar that was automatically like, yeah, that's an awesome feature to have, because I think any guitar in the like $1,000 range or more should definitely have, and that is a Graphtec nut. If you're rolling with like just a plastic nut on a guitar that's going to cost you, 4 figures, that's a little suspicious, just in my opinion. It also has stainless steel frets, which is kind of a modern feature, but it's becoming more and more prevalent on guitars. Some people think they sound a little bit tinny on the top end. I tend to find them to be just fine. They wear down very, very slowly. That also makes them hard to work on in case you ever get a guitar and you have like a little bit of a fret dress issue or a little bit of a high fret in a spot. You'll notice that standard files just take forever to actually knock them down. So beyond those things, the other things that are just nice is, for me, single volume push-pull for coil splitting, single 3-way toggle, and I love that it's like one of these more industrial kind of metal low-profile ones, not like the Switchcraft Gibson style. Spoke wheel truss rod adjustment. I think this is like the best thing to come to any guitar since ever, because I have a few guitars with these, and when it comes to doing setups, this is way better than having to take off a truss rod cover and do all that fun stuff. Hip shot locking tuners, not Schecter brand. These are actual hip shots, as well as the bridge is also a hip shot bridge. So you're getting kind of premium featured hardware on a guitar that is still squarely within Schecter's production line, not a custom shop. And then the electronics. So we're going to get into the tones on the electronics here real quick. But these are actually Schecter USA pickups, and they were designed in concert with John Browne himself. He has a very specific sound, and if you don't know anything about John Browne, he's the guitarist for Monuments. And for a long time, he was a artist with Mayones guitars, mayonnaise. I think I would say mayonnaise, but that's not right. It's mayonnaise guitars, and he had a special like custom Duvel style guitar that had. I think he used Lundgrens in his mayonnaise guitars, and these pickups I think try to go for that sound because they do have a very pronounced top and mid range punch that some other Schecter USA pickups don't have. And so the bridge pickup here is the Colossus, and then the neck pickup is named the Chaos Breaker. Now, the neck pickup, to me, is pretty standard sounding. It's a little bit scooped in the mids, very warm, very round. It's maybe just like a Sentient, like the Seymour Duncan Sentient, but which is a little bit less mid-range. That's all I could really compare it to. But really the star of the show is the Colossus, the bridge pickup, where most of the heavy tones come from. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tones here. And I'm going to be running through my EVH 5153 Stealth. We'll go green, blue, red channel, all that fun stuff, boost pedal. If you've been here, you know kind of the deal. So let's just get to it. Okay, so I'm on the clean channel, and here's just the standard bridge pickup. So yeah, with the bridge pickup, it's very mid-forward. It's a little bit in that nasal realm. I could probably dial that out a little bit. I really don't think this pickup is geared towards playing clean tones, even with the coil split on, as you heard in that second half. It's just very plinky. I mean, I guess that could be good for some things. Like maybe if you're into like the Animals as Leaders stuff. I can't do that, but still, decent sound. I think if you dialed it in to be a little bit softer on the top end, you would get a little bit more out of that. But there's a big difference between the coil split and that regular humbucker. So in the middle position, you get a decent sound too. A little softer, a little warmer. Probably my favorite sound for cleans on this guitar, honestly. You can split the coil too. That parallel split just basically gives you a big scoop. Very clean, very just straightforward. And then the neck pickup is definitely, I think, meant to do clean tones and maybe some lead stuff. I don't really use neck pickups as much as I probably should. Actually, it sounds really nice. Yeah, I should probably use that more. But let's go on to the gain stuff because that's kind of what I do here. So, turn on my noise gate. I'm on the blue channel of the EVH, and here's what I just got as a standard tone with no boost. So typically, I use an overdrive to drive that blue channel into more aggressive metal territory. Today, maybe I'll just go with... let me try out the Highwind Direwolf. Yeah, I mean the Colossus pickup has so much like top end mids. I don't think I could probably turn the tone back on that. Normally I'm usually running the tone a little bit more than noon. Now I'm back more towards noon. If you're not super into that like higher upper mid-range thing, you might not be super into this particular tone, but I really like it. All right, I'm going to move on to a different boost pedal, something with a little bit more of a classic flavor. I'll go with the Boss SD1. So with the Boss SD1, I basically run it drive all the way down, level all the way up, and then tone somewhat past noon. Now I'm just making stuff up. Yeah, I mean, I think that neck pickup with lead sounds pretty good. Probably temper the tone down just a little bit on the SD1. Maybe give a little drive just to beef it up. Now I'm just noodling like, you know, Kerry King style where you just play every single note chromatically. Either way, I think that's a good sound. I really like the bridge pickup on this, even without the boost on. And it sounds really good with all boosts, like the Tempest, the Direwolf, or the Dirty Tree. Pretty good. TS9. I'm going to have a hot take real quick. I actually think the TS9 is better than the SD1 in most cases, but a lot of people disagree with me. And then, you know, you can go something more boutique like the King in Yellow. I have the low mid scooped out like a lot on that. All right, I could do that all day. I'm gonna go over to the Red Channel, turn off any drive pedals. Red Channel doesn't really need it, but this is full aggro, Red Channel EVH. Might even turn the highs down a little bit on that one. It's just a massive sound. I mean, that's mostly the amp, but even with this pickup, I feel like I can keep the low end kind of intact and not have to mess with it too much, and this pickup does the rest. Anyway, so you heard what this thing sounds like. It gets aggressive, it gets massive. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, like unless you're going custom shop level, I don't know if there's a production guitar that really does better than this one. The whole aesthetic's cool. They have a 6-string version, they have an 8-string version. In fact, I think in talking to Andrew Baina, he said that the 8-string Tao is the best 8-string guitar he's ever played, and if he wants to dispute that, I definitely heard it from him directly, so I think he would agree that these are probably some of the best production guitars in existence. And, you know, simple, straightforward, great specs, beautifully done neck. The action, the fretwork, everything on these things are as to be expected. And I think you guys should check one out, or at least, you know, consider one in the future. Maybe sell a guitar, maybe sell a Gibson, and you can get one. So anyway, that was my spiel for this guitar. I'll see you guys later.